got myself a Diablo. It's been a lifelong dream to get a Diablo since I was a teenager. I just have to compose myself really. I've had it probably about 10 months now. I've been wanting to do this video for quite some time, but it's just trying to pick the perfect day, perfect weather, get a really nice road down into Third. Just listen to that. So this is a Diablo 1996 SV Super Veloce. Basically, after a few years of making the Diablo, we decided to make a SV version. A little bit cheaper, stripped out, no leather. You could spec leather back into it. Lightweight alloy wheels. It's got air intakes on the roof for the engine. It's slightly tweaked on performance to 510 horsepower instead of 490. You could spec the car with a short ratio gearbox, which this SV's got, so it won't do the 200 miles an hour, but it'll do 186, fast enough really. No soundproofing. You also got a wing and the big stickers on the side of the car if you wanted them. We did obviously the basic model Diablo, then the VT, which is a 4-wheel drive, then we did the Roadster, and obviously the GTRs and SVRs, race cars and road going, sort of stripped out nearly race cars on the road. So power wise, 510 horsepower, it's around about 430 foot-pound of torque. The torque comes in at the max sort of peak, around about 5,200 RPM. Maximum brake horsepower is around about 7,000. I've never really took it much above 7.3. There's no need to really. 0 to 60, you're looking around about 4 seconds. You just obviously got to get a good launch. 0 to 100, 9 seconds. Top speed 186. It's got a 5-speed gearbox, gated. It's not as elegant as a Ferrari gearbox, I would say. You've got to manhandle it, whereas a Ferrari one you can just click it through once it's warmed up, whereas this one in a Diablo doesn't need warming up that much. It's dogleg first. You get used to it really quickly. Economy. I don't know what that word means in this car. It uses fuel like the Exxon Valdez loses oil. I mean, every time I let off the throttle, there must be a gallon of fuel going out in flames. If you're on a spirited drive, you'll probably get about 6 miles per gallon. On a drive, you know, in 5th gear, cruising along steadily, you could possibly push 14 miles per gallon, maybe 15. It's got a 100 litre tank. Well, I've measured this tank actually. I've got 103 litres you can squeeze in from totally empty. Wheels. They're an SV wheel. OZ Racing make them. Split rim. They're lightweight, especially for the SV. Originally the SVs came with an 18-inch rear and a 17-inch front. This had a 17-inch front, but I've upgraded this one already to an 18-inch wheel, which there's a video coming out soon for that one. Tyres, I've got Pirelli P0s all round. I've had to put a new set of tyres on when I bought the car. They're about 15 years old, not very much traction, a few cracks, so it's got a new set of Pirellis on. The rear tyres are 335 by 30 by 18, so plenty of grip. It grips like a limpet through the corners. You'd think it would be quite difficult to gauge, but it's got lots of grip at the front and rear. Exterior of a car, just look at it, it's bright yellow. It's got big letters down the side of it. It's got air intakes all over. It's got 2 on the front bumper, 1 on each wing. One's on the rear lower wings, 1 on the upper rear wings, 2 on the roof. I mean, there's air intakes everywhere. Who knows if they do anything, but I'm sure they do. So, that's the inside of the car. Because it's an SV, it's got Alcantara, very nice. On the doors, roof lining, dash, seats, everything. It's got a lovely yellow piping to the seats and stitching with the SV logo on. I love the seats, very, very comfortable. I have done about 400 miles in this car non-stop, apart from fuel break, which is about 15 minutes. Yes, after that sort of distance, I think I did 8 hours the other day in the car on a supercar drivers club meeting. Your bum starts to get a little bit tired because there's no padding in the seats, but they are very comfortable, very supportive. The only 2 adjustments you've got is forward and backwards, and a slight angle. You can tilt the whole seat, but there's no sort of backrest lean or lumbar support, so you can adjust or anything like that. Pedals, extremely close together. You have to wear the tightest of shoes or racing boots. I have some skin tight sort of trainers, well, not trainers, pumps, and you can just do the pedals. You can heel and toe in the car. It's lovely little steering wheel. The later one's got airbags, but this being a 96, there's no airbags at all in the car, which is really nice. You've got an Alpine stereo unit, climate control, an array of buttons, but are not brilliantly descriptive, but you figure them out fairly quick. Mine's got an extra little bass control unit. There's a story behind that, we'll talk about that in a minute. History of the car. So this is the first Diablo what came into the UK. It was the Lamborghini press car, and I believe a motor show car. So in 1996 this came into the country, and obviously all the journalists, press, etc, magazines, Evo Mag and, you know, etc, Harry Metcalf, they've all drove this car. It's been thrashed quite a lot, I would imagine. There's lovely pictures of it going sideways in magazines. And this is where I started to really fall in love with the Diablo as a child. You know, you see the Cannonball Run films, the Lamborghini Countach at the beginning, just epic starting sequence, and that's when I discovered Lamborghini. And you just go, that's a supercar. So, I've seen it in all the magazines when I was a teenager. Basically that tipped me over the edge as a child, thinking the Diablo was a better car than the Countach. And now I've been with both types of cars, even the Aventador SVs and Murcielagos. The Diablo is the ultimate. It's the very best of what Lamborghini did before Audi ruined them. Yes, you might say Audi ruined them, but took the edge off the Lamborghini side. But calmed them down a little bit. It's still rear wheel drive. You know, it's crazy, there's no ABS. So after Lamborghini used it as their press car, motor show car, it was eventually sold to Alpine Stereos, and they made it their show car around about year 2000. So it was in all the hi-fi car stereo brochures back then. I've got a few of the original brochures with this car in. So it's all been kitted out with tweeters, mid-range, bass speakers, 2 huge sub boxes behind these 2 seats. That's why there's a storage issue in this car. You can't get any storage behind the seats. In the front, it had all the TV equipment, GPS, early sat-nav equipment, amps, neons, etc. that all came with the car. Apart from it didn't have the original TV head unit, there's a modern Alpine head unit in. So all we've got now is the speakers all working, the stereo, the amp, everything. I've removed the other items because there wasn't doing anything, just taking up room in the front storage compartment. So I've gained about another quarter in the front storage compartment. Through its history then, it's been mainly studying private collections. It did appear in the year 2000 at Silverstone Auctions. I believe it didn't sell. It might have done afterwards, I'm not sure, but it's in a video what Harry Metcalf did on his Harry's Garage channel. But then last year, you know, 2020, sort of middle of that year, I decided to buy this car because I thought it's got the best history. I've looked at many other Diablos, it didn't really need too much doing. Mainly new tyres. What's it like to drive? Better than my wildest dreams. I don't know how much you've heard of me talking today, but if you can hear the engine notes, once you get to 4,000 RPM, the cams come on, you've got the taps wide open, oh, the power delivery's out of this world. It's just, the noise goes up, and it just pushes you back into your seat. The sheer torque of this engine and just propels you down the road. Really nice. It can be a little bit scary to drive when you first get it, a bit intimidating, but it's not that bad. I've drove a lot of cars over the years, and you think, oh, Diablo's still going to be a bit dicey. You've just got to respect its size. The lack of braking power compared to a modern sports car or supercar. It is quite easy to just bimble along. We're doing what? We're third gear, we're kicking up into the fifth actually. 1400 RPM, 40 miles an hour, just sat in traffic. Anyone could do this as long as you've got the right footwear on. When you're getting a move on, the steering's really nice. It is power assisted on the SV. On the early ones it wasn't power assisted, so this is quite easy to push through, but it's still got a nice weighted feel. So, getting a move on in the car. You've just got to not manhandle it too much, but take hold of it by the scruff of the neck and just respect it a little bit as well at the same time, in case it might bite you, but it will flow through the bends lovely. You've just got to remember to be in a gear lower than you need to be. Keep them revs up and you'll go straight on the power. Most lanes you could sit in second and third gear, to be honest. Another power on. Second gear, pull. Motorway, it's lovely, it's not too noisy. All of it is absolutely brilliant to drive. So there's any downsides? Well, the cost, if you're looking to buy one, the costs keep going up, so they're getting dearer. There's only 12 SVs, I believe, in the UK. There's a few more VTs and normal Diablos. Parts are expensive, I've noticed, and hard to get, like any old Italian car, I suppose. That's the negatives, really. The plus points are everyone loves it, you'll love it, it'll probably go up in value. You'll probably never need any other car to drive. If you're looking for that raw driving experience. The nearest cars I could compare it to is TVR Tuscan and S. For the noise and maybe sort of power delivery. But this is so much better. You're going to respect it probably like the Tuscan as well. It's like, it's got more grip than a TVR. It's a lovely place to sit in here. It's driving it back from Scotland the first day I got it. It just felt like I went entered Le Mans. Back in the 70s or 80s in a Le Mans Type C car. With the noise and the wide expansion of the dash. The seating position where the steering wheel comes at it and the clocks are nicely in the minute wheel. Wind it on in 4th gear. Open the garage door, it just looks stunning. You know, whichever angle you look at this car, it is stunning. And it's got pop-up headlights as well. Can't go wrong with pop-up headlights. And that soundtrack, you're never going to get that again. The days of naturally aspirated V12 engines with no sort of cats or silencers have gone. So my advice is go out, buy yourself a Diablo SV or any other Diablo and take it for a damn good thrashing. Thank you for watching Django's Garage. There's a lot more videos coming with this car and some other cars what you've not seen yet on the channel. Please subscribe, ask any questions you like. We've got some little repair videos coming out for this soon. And we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.